Hello and happy Wednesday. So I hope you guys are enjoying our gorgeous day. I've been outside helping the guys, just running errands for them and also getting some tasks done outside, and it's a great day for that. But duty calls. I need to get some cards made. I need to get some cards sent out. I need to get some swaps made and all sorts of fun stuff like that. And I also want to keep inspiring you guys here too. So what I've got for you guys today is some really fun designer series paper. So this is the Artisan Sketched Garden designer series paper, and I'm just kind of adding to that. I was inspired recently by a friend of mine, Kimberly Wong Myers, and her and I, she's from California. We met at an event, oh gosh, a few years ago, and just instantly connected and very like-minded. And so just fun to follow each other and get ideas from each other that way. I don't know if she gets any ideas from me, but I definitely like her style too. And she had recently done a card similar to this for Mother's Day, and I thought, you know what, I want to try and copy that, change it up a little bit, and make it red. I'm just gonna, oh yeah, so let me get my camera turned around. So I did get a new phone over this past weekend so that I have better battery life and just kind of learning things. And I don't know if it's because I had hand reactions on there. It said something like I must have been moving my hand too much, and that's me. I'm always like moving my hands, I think, when I talk, but just things pop up. But what I'm thrilled about is hopefully having better sound quality during my videos, not so muffled, hopefully more clear, just because we farm. My phone's out in dirt and dust and fields and tractors and things like that, and we like being outside. So I think just my phone was old enough too, or there's probably just a lot of dust in the microphone area too. So I hope that this is better quality for that, for sure. All right, let's see. Hello there, Lori. Good to see you on here. Here is a close-up of the card that I'm going to do today. And then here is, if you guys like to see the ingredient list, I'll try and hold that really steady. This is about the only time my hands aren't moving during my video. So that is the ingredient list for everything, if you like that. And then let me show you this fun paper. So, I was gonna say, oh, I know why. It's like, why is there a bone folder in there? I was marking my space to show you where this is in the catalog here. Wait a minute. I was actually almost thinking it was part of the Beautiful Ordinary Life, because half of that's colored, half of it's black and white. But no, on page 63, we've got this nice assortment of the Artisan Sketched Garden 12 by 12. And then you can also see just a little sneak peek of it here. Whenever they do that, I kind of like to show you too, so that you can go, oh yeah, there's some more ideas to do that. And that's on page 54. And the family celebration, I have the stamp set. I like that. You guys know I love like a nice, easy, lazy cursive is what I call it, easy to read. It's hard for me to use stamp sets like this though during my classes, because I can't have like 20 blocks on one thing, and then if I put it on a block, hard to read, it could be a mess if people try and put it back, don't wash it type thing. So I'm always trying to think like, how can we do that? But this is a very nice stamp set, so I want to just give a plug for a family celebration, just because like this week is my granddaughter's birthday, and I just think it would be fun to put grandchild. I wish it said well, I could do granddaughter, I guess. So, well, and just, yeah, anyway, with markers or something like that. Okay, I digress. I will get back on track here. All right, let me just show you a quick glimpse of this paper, the 12 by 12 of black and white. So this is what I'm going to be working from today. Yes, fussy cutting. And then it's just got a random black and white pattern there. And then we've got this, which is so fun to do like with blending brushes, to just kind of color in areas and such with that, or even the sponge daubers. And then if you love polka dots, how fun is that for polka dots? And then we've got some more flowers too. So if you want a fussy cut, I know a few names that came to mind. They love to fussy cut, color that in, and then just add a sentiment and have that be like either kind of framing the sentiment and such. So that's always great for those types of projects. And then we've got some little flowers on the background there. And same here, if we want to do some sponging or just make this, you know, a background and color in a few flowers there, we could do that. And how fun is that to have some pretty bright flowers there? Again, we can sponge that in if we want. We could fussy cut these if we wanted to, or just even put little dies around them to kind of have them be framed. So we've got that. And then we've got stripes. I love stripes too. And then we've got these nice little arrangements. So if we wanted to put these flowers in vases, we could do that as well. And then we've got that back side as kind of another pattern here. So that is our Artisan Sketched Garden Designer Series paper. So what I've had people do at a recent class of mine was to just have them kind of pick and choose from the paper, the 12 by 12, and see what they wanted to do and for their picture and or image. And some of them chose this, which then there's no water in there, but always greenery is nice. So that's never a problem. So I'm just going to start cutting here. This has kind of lines for tables or whatever, but we're going to kind of create our own table space or grounding on our card as we work on that. But for cutting, a lot of people love to fussy cut. I'm always like, when it's time for a class, and I'm always a little nervous when people are like, is there a die for this? And then if I say no, there's always the cringe, but then there's always a, oh, I like to fussy cut. And then some people will even go so far as to say, if anybody wants me to fussy cut theirs, I mean, there are people that will do that, or people that say, yep, I just take like a sheet of this, and when my husband's watching TV at night, then I fussy cut while he watches TV. I've been known to take things like this on the road with us and just cut away as my husband drives down the road. Those swaps that I said I'm going to be working on, my goal is not to be working on those because I want them done while we're on the road. It's more fun to fussy cut when you don't have a deadline. And so I'm thinking I might do something with these fussy cut flowers for the swaps that I'm going to be working on for next week. So yeah, we'll see, because I want them done for sure by Saturday. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right. So a lot of times I'm just moving my my paper, not my scissors. It just kind of depends and such. And speaking of that, since I'm a demonstrator, I get to order things ahead of time, and Stampin' Up! Has on our demonstrator pre-order that we get to order from before anybody else. Scissors, you guys, snips like this. I'm so excited because it's been a hot minute since we've been able to have scissors in our online stores. So I'm very excited about that. And this was a good way to tell you how much I love our scissors. I love the sharpness of them. I love the size of them. I love that they come with like a little carrying case type thing. I should have checked. I just got mine. I hope they have the little cover there too, because that's what I have grown to love as well. All right, so I'm just going to set this aside while we do a little bit of building up our card base here. So I love this. This is one of our new ink colors here. So pretty, so soft. This is Barely Blush. So that's going to be the card base. And then ahead of time, what I did, I always like to save some time when I can, is I just ran this through the Eyelet 3D embossing folder, cut 4 by 5 1/4. And so now I can, here, let me put my card back here. So if people join in, not from the beginning, they'll know, kind of see in the background there what I'm trying to make. All right. Let me get some tape on that. And I try to tell people too, if you're working with the 3D folder, go slower if you're using these types of tape runners, because the 3D folder, because it gives it such a nice deep groove, if you go fast, it can want to kind of pull up the cardstock and wrap it around this. And some people have said, Belle, what am I doing wrong? And a lot of times just going too fast. if you know me, I love to go fast on my projects and such too. So that's, I can see where that happens because it happens to me. All right, now we're going to do something kind of fancy here. Let me bring over, let's see, hopefully I have some scratch paper here. Yes. Scratchy scratch paper. Look at this. This is like a messy scratch paper. Okay. We have also new shimmer brushes. I love our shimmer brushes. This was a product I got to play with when we went to On Stage in California in March, and you will love them too. So they come in all the new in colors. So the hydrangea hue, the barely blush, golden glow, peaceful pine, and crisp cantaloupe. So when you get them, I saved my little piece here. When you get them, kind of like our Wink of Stellas, there's going to be this band in there. And so unscrew it, take the band out, otherwise it's not going to work. Some people put the band back on or save the band if they're going to be traveling so that it doesn't get smushed and have this leaking out everywhere. But you can see where it says push. So I like to give it a nice push, and when it's brand new, you can kind of see this making its way down and such, and there's a lot in there, but I've had this at class, so if you're wondering like, okay, why does it look almost empty? That's how much I've used it, because I like it. So I'm trying to get it down toward the tip, and then let me grab my bone folder here. We're just going to tap it, and then you can see it making some splatter, but I'm always like, I don't want it to have too much, so I'm just going to slowly have it make its way, because I'd rather do less is more than more is, oh my goodness, like too much type thing. So this was fun to show people too at the class, and I just want to, there we go, get some different, kind of want to show you, we're only going to use kind of part of the top of it, but I also wanted to give you tiny little click, click, clicks, as you heard, and bigger wax on it so that you could tell that we've got some bigger and smaller. And I always want to allow that a little bit of time to dry. And actually, I probably should have done this before I die cut. That would have been perfect. But I also want to do the coloring in it now on our flowers. So that's not the worst thing either. So let me digress to that. Because we're doing the Barely Blush, let's bring in some Barely Blush with the Stampin' Blends. So these flowers are big enough where I could have done a light and a dark, but I just thought, you know, I already have people fussy cutting at the class, so I'm just going to give them some grace and just do the one marker for coloring. So Barely Blush, Stampin' Blend, and then I like the lighter color of the Granny Apple Green because the Peaceful Pine's new. Of course, I like to pull that out and show people how our, oh gosh, this is really dry. Let's see. I always have a backup. That's what I say, right? Dark Granny Apple Green. Here we go. All right. I was going to say, whenever I do classes, I have a backup, so it should be sitting here because I haven't put this away from class. Here we go. Light Granny Apple Green. So hopefully that was a fast enough transition. I always say it's kind of like my own pit crew here. So anyway, I was going to do Peaceful Pine, but then because of the lightness of the Barely Blush and such, I thought the Granny Apple Green would be nice. Here too, I could go back with the dark and go over some of those leaves and such, and I think I actually might, depending on what everybody chose for their vase and flowers to cut out. Some had a lot of greenery, some not so much, and then I can see here that I'm missing the flower on this. I'm just going to go back, and since I know I have Granny Apple Green in the dark, here we go. Just going to go kind of fill that in a little bit just because you guys know I love my blends and the magic that it can do. So I like to kind of show that off when I can as well. All right. Because it does add a lot of depth, and you can see that hopefully there. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is put our water in. So using a light balmy blue color. I'm not even going to go all the way to the edge. I'm just going to kind of make that look kind of a little whimsical that way. Love that. Now we can start to assemble here. So I'm going to take from that same package of paper, the Artisan Sketch Garden. This is, let me just double check, 3 inches by 1.5 inches. And I'm just going to get some adhesive on that. And this is still a little wet, so I'm going to cover up the bigger blobs that are a little wet with this. So we're going to do like a white kind of banner there, or just like a white stretch there, then put this on, and then this will have showing too. And then next I'm going to take this strip of basic black. This is cut 1/2 inch by 3.75. And now this I'm going to put adhesive on just on the middle, because this is going to kind of hang over the edge, and we're going to pop that up. So just kind of want to center that and put that across there. And then we're ready for our sentiment. So the fun banner sayings has all those little tiny sentiments in there. So I'm going with the celebrate, and I'm just going to put that on a strip here of basic white. And then, like I said, love the 3 banner punch. This has been really popular, and that makes me happy when I love something and then see people order it, because I know how much they're going to love it as well. And for this, I'm just going to choose that top one here and just punch that out there with the 3 banner punch. So there is savings with this and the banner sayings stamp set, 10% when you bundle both the stamp set and the dies together. And let's see, I'm going to just kind of set that aside, set this aside, and then, because we're working on this, all of this is going to kind of line up, and because this is a little bit wider and this is a little bit skinnier, I'm just going to make sure I have all 3 of these pieces before I commit to putting them down. Well, actually, we can do this. So I'm going to flip this over and put some dimensionals. This is where I know when things are crooked or not, when I flip them over and I go, gosh, that's kind of like, it looks straight here, but then when I flip it over, you can see it's not. I'm going to see if I can move that just a hair, like so. Just pop that up a little bit. We'll see. I don't want to end up tearing it. And maybe it'll be fine when I get all the embellishments, because that ribbon will kind of cover up things too. I'm just going to leave that. Okay, so I'm going to put on, let's say, 5 dimensionals here for this project. Oh, and this white piece is cut 3 by 4 inches on here. Just going to wipe there in case any of those little splatters were wet, because I don't want to get that on my card. And I'm just going to kind of center that here like so. Okay, and now I'm going to take this gorgeous ribbon, because you guys know how much I like our new in colors. So Barely Blush bordered ribbon. I've got some cardstock stuck to my thumb. It looks like I've been painting outside. That's cardstock. Okay, so I've got the Barely Blush bordered ribbon. And what I'm going to do is just take and wind that around my finger and just make a little knot here. And pull it tight, but not too tight. Tight enough that it kind of makes its own little V. And with my ribbon cutting scissors, see, that's why I'm excited that we have scissors back in, because I always have 2 at the ready. One for just all my projects, like cutting the cardstock or things down, or like fussy cutting, and then one for the ribbon. So I'm just gonna give that a little bit more of a tug, so hopefully it gives it more of a V there. Now we have all these pieces here, so I'm just going to take and put from here, got a nice kind of edge on my dimensionals, so I'm just going to kind of line that up. This is going to fit perfectly behind my celebrate. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals to put here behind my flowers, so that those are nice and popped up like so. And then I'm just going to kind of eye where I want that ribbon. So it's going to kind of sit there. My dimensional backs are really liking to stick. Okay, so I'm going to put my Celebrate here, my flowers kind of next to that so they overlap the Celebrate. I feel like that makes it look nice and connected. And now I'm going to go back to my mini glue dots here for an adhesive choice and just press one onto here and give that kind of a nice little add on there. So we've got that daintiness of the Barely Blush ribbon showing there, and it just all comes together. I just love how soft this project looks. And then we have to add a little bit of embellishments to it. So this is where I'm going to go back to my original. Like I said, we have all these shimmer brushes, but I'm going to go back to the original, which is the Wink Stella. I love my Wink Stella. And then I'm just going to give that a squeeze, light squeeze. I always say, oh, you don't want to get too much on because you can always go back and add more. But just by doing that gives us a nice shimmer shine to the water. And it's always hard to know if that's getting picked up on the camera. Actually, I just want to do little, just the tiniest little rotation here because it kind of looked like my flowers were a little tipsy. So hopefully you see the shimmer shine there. And I'm still loving these 2026 through 2028 in color dots. So you can see the in colors. And it's moments like this when I was reaching and I saw this, but I don't know if this was with this project or one of these. But if ever you're at a class, I always say, hopefully this didn't run out. Because I've always got a backup. I've always got plenty. Sometimes I have different choices, but for this project, I know I wanted everybody to use these because they're just so pretty and experience the new in colors and just the kind of monochrome look of the project and such too. But never be afraid to say, hey, Belle, we're out of this or that, because chances are it's sitting in my little containers right on the same table and such too. So we've got that. And I want to make this an anniversary card. So for the inside, I just have my regular 4 by 5 1/4, and from the Phrases and Frames stamp set, you guys have probably went, oh, there she is using that again. I've been using the Phrases and Frames sentiments out of that stamp set over and over and over. So anniversaries are for celebrating the joys of today, the memories of yesterday, and the hopes of tomorrow. Just stamping that out in black. And then I'm going to just add my tape onto that. And because I didn't do much for stamping, just the little sentiments, I'm not going to add, you could kind of just add a little bit, you know, if you wanted to even. Some of you are clever and you'll take, not this one so much, but you know how you have your 12 by 12 and something's kind of at the edge. Like this is a good one. Some people are clever enough to cut that out and then they will put that kind of here. So it looks like you have just kind of this little bouquet or vase kind of peeking out from the inside of your card that way too, which is always a nice thing. I don't mind fussy cutting, but I don't like it that much to go to that extreme length, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you. So hello there, Margaret. Good to see you. And Diane and Lynette. So thank you so much for joining in. There you have it. Just a delightful card, like one of those that I can't wait to make more of just because I love the soft colors together. Oops. And I love to tell people too how black and pink just look so nice together, whether it's like a deep berry burst or a flirty flamingo or something. The black and the pink are always kind of a nice complement to each other as well too. So take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.